in a world where the benchmark for Spider-Man films is permanently set by how good Spider-Man 2 was, can another Spider-Man film live up to that mark? Can it meet the expectations that we have of a Spider-Man film being that good? Let's get into it. So for those that don't know, Spider-Man is now back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, back at his home where he should be, along with Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, the characters that we all know and love. He got introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in Captain America Civil War. The latest person to play Spider-Man is Tom Holland, and he does a fantastic job as a new, younger Spidey. With Spider-Man Homecoming, you get a greater sense of him still becoming Spider-Man, even though we don't have to go through the whole origin story again. And this is a Peter Parker that really feels more like how Peter Parker is in the comics. It feels tonally a lot more like what a Spider-Man film should feel like. He's not always joking. There's a serious tone to the character of what he's dealing with, and a duality of him balancing a regular life and a life as a hero. And again, as I said, this is a new, fresher, younger Peter Parker. So we're getting the sense of him not just coming into his own as a hero, but kind of, in a way, coming into his own as a person. He's still working out what his values in life are in this film, and he's balancing that alongside being a superhero and helping people. And it's not just that the film tonally feels like how a Spider-Man film should, now that it's back in the hands of Marvel creatively. Everything else kind of reflects what you expect it to as well. So the humor does, the eyes and the suit all look like how you would really expect an actual Spider-Man suit to look like, not something that's made out of basketball skin. Now, while we have all of that going on with a fresh-faced young Peter Parker being mentored by Tony Stark most of the way through this film, which Tony Stark is actually used very sparingly in this film. I quite liked that. I didn't want Tony Stark to come in and kind of take over the film, have it be Iron Man 4 featuring Spider-Man. No, he only turns up like a few times in the film, and when he does, he drops some wisdom on Peter Parker. He drops some knowledge and guidance to him. So he is very much a mentor in this film. And he's really there for like marketing purposes. So it's kind of easing people into the film through the medium of Iron Man into a new generation of Spider-Man. It's like kind of taking them by the hand and going, do you know what? It's going to be okay this time because we've got Tony Stark here as well. But while all of that is going on, we have Michael Keaton as the bad guy in the film, and he is fantastic. He's one of the most charismatic villains in a Spider-Man film since Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. And the great thing is that he's a villain of the piece as Vulture, but when he's not Vulture and he's just himself, he's actually really charismatic. And the great thing is, he is a villainous character without having to be too villainous. Like, he's not constantly like, I get that, Spider-Man. Instead, he's just kind of out for himself. It's like Spider-Man gets in the way of him, but it's not like he set out to destroy Spider-Man. That's not what he got into the game for. He got into the game for himself. The only thing that is a little bit unfortunate is that while Michael Keaton is great as his character, as a villain, the Vulture doesn't really have too much to offer. But it is good that it's a villain that we haven't seen done in a Spider-Man film before. That's what I liked about the character. And they did it justice. They did it well. So overall, I really liked this new iteration of Spider-Man. I've been reading Spider-Man for a very long time now, and I feel like this is, in a way, the closest we have got to how Spider-Man is in the comics. There are a few things missing here and there that I might have liked to see. I would say that him having the AI in his suit, because it is a Stark Tech suit, is good and it makes sense, but I do feel that there was kind of a joke to it, and I felt a little bit like that joke got taken a bit too far, like it got involved too much. So the only thing I will say is that the AI in his suit was great, but I hope they don't make it too much of a thing. Like, he doesn't need to be the new Iron Man. He's good enough as Spider-Man. So, on that note, Spider-Man Homecoming gets 4 stars from me. It had everything that I expected it to have, and it delivered in all of the areas that I wanted it to, and I really think that this is a Spider-Man film that was worth waiting for. So without elaborating too more and risk going into spoiler territory and saving that for my spoiler video, what did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming? Is this tonally and visually the Spider-Man film that we've been waiting for since Spider-Man 2? Does it live up to Spider-Man 2? What villains would you want to see in another Spider-Man film? Because they're going to make more now. All comments in the comments below. Let's talk nerdy, particularly nerdy about Spider-Man. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here and you want to see some more, don't forget to hit subscribe and view some more videos here. And until that point, I will see you next time, Spider-Fans. Excelsior!